On the left, we have a junior developer learning to code 10 years ago. They are frustrated. They are stuck. They are currently building a mental map of how a computer actually works. On the right, we have a junior developer today. They are fast, they are productive, and they are learning almost nothing. We are celebrating the efficiency of AI tools like Copilot and ChatGPT. We are celebrating the death of the struggle. But psychologists and senior engineers are starting to notice a terrifying trend. The new generation of coders isn't just using tools. They are outsourcing their cognition. They are bypassing the very neural pathways that turn a novice into an expert. We aren't just automating code. We are automating the learning process out of existence. Today on Psychology Every Day, we're exploring the death of the junior dev. We're going to look at the neuroscience of why the hard way matters, why removing friction is destroying critical thinking, and why the tech industry is walking blindly off a demographic cliff. Let's start with a physical analogy. If I want big muscles, I have to lift this weight. The struggle, the micro tears, and the muscle fiber is the signal for my body to grow stronger. Now, imagine I have a robot suit. I put it on, and the suit lifts the weight for me. I completed the task. The weight is up. I was efficient. But did I get stronger? No, I got weaker. This is exactly what is happening to the brains of junior developers. In educational psychology, there is a concept called desirable difficulties, coined by Robert Bjork. The theory states that for deep learning to occur, the task must be hard. You need to fail, retrieve information from memory, and fail again. That friction is what encodes the knowledge into your long-term memory. When a junior dev hits a bug today, they don't read the documentation. They don't trace the execution flow. They paste the error into an LLM, and the LLM fixes it. They solved the bug. But they skipped the desirable difficulty. They robbed their brain of the workout. This leads to a phenomenon known as cognitive offloading. We already saw this happen with GPS navigation. Before GPS, you had to build a mental map of your city. You knew that north was that way. You knew the landmarks. Today, if your GPS dies, you are lost in your own neighborhood. You never learned the territory. You just followed instructions. Junior developers are suffering from the GPS effect of code. They can navigate from point A, ticket, to point B, PR merge, using AI. But they don't know the territory. They don't understand the system architecture, the memory management, or why the code works. They are building a fragile competence. It looks like skill on the surface, but the moment the AI hallucinates, or the problem becomes novel, they collapse. They haven't built the mental models required to debug reality, but it's not just the AI. There is a second killer, the death of osmosis. For decades, junior developers learned by sitting next to senior developers. They learned by overhearing a conversation 3 desks away. They learned by watching a senior sigh, rub their temples, and say, "Wait, that database lock is going to deadlock if we do it that way." This is the transfer of tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is what you find in documentation. Here is the syntax for a loop. Tacit knowledge is the unspoken wisdom. It's the gut feeling that comes from experience. In a remote-first world, coupled with AI tools, juniors are isolated. They are working in silos. They submit code and get a robotic code review and move on. They are missing the thousands of micro-interactions that used to turn a junior into a senior. They are getting the information, but they aren't getting the wisdom. We are creating a generation of developers who are statistically productive, but architecturally illiterate. This brings us to the economic crisis. Companies have noticed that AI makes seniors 10 SOTs faster. So they are asking a brutal question. Why should I hire a junior? Why hire someone I have to train for 6 months, who will make mistakes, when I can just hire one senior with co-pilot who can do the work of 3 people? We are seeing a massive freeze in junior hiring. The bottom rungs of the career ladder are being sawed off. This is short-term smart and long-term suicidal. If we stop hiring and training juniors today, where do the seniors of 2030 come from? Seniors are not born, they are made. They are made through years of bad code mentorship and friction. By eliminating the junior role, the tech industry is eating its own seed corn. We are creating a future where no one actually understands how the systems run, because the people who built them retired, and the people left only know how to prompt. There is a final psychological trap here, the Dunning-Kruger effect. AI gives juniors a false sense of confidence. Because they can generate complex code instantly, they feel like experts. They are standing on the peak of Mount Stupid. They argue with seniors. They merge dangerous code because it worked on my machine. They lack the humility that comes from struggling with a segmentation fault for 3 days. This arrogance is dangerous. It leads to unmaintainable code bases filled with subtle bugs that only a true expert could spot, but the experts are too busy fixing the AI's hallucinations to mentor the juniors. So, is the junior dev dead? Not yet, but we have to change how we learn. If you are a junior listening to this, or a manager, here is the survival guide. 1. Intentional friction. You must artificially reintroduce the struggle. Spend 1 hour a day coding without AI. Turn off Copilot. Force your brain to retrieve the syntax. Read the documentation, not the summary. You need to stay in the zone of proximal development, that sweet spot where it's hard, but doable. If it's too easy, you aren't learning. 2. Optimize for understanding, not output. Your boss wants output. You must want understanding. When the AI gives you a solution, do not paste it until you can explain every single line to a rubber duck. If you can't explain why the code works, you didn't write it. You are just a glorified copy-paster. 3. Seek osmosis. If you are remote, you have to fight for connection. Don't just text your senior. Ask for a 10-minute screen share. Watch them code. Watch them make mistakes. Ask why 10 times a day. Why did you structure the folder that way? Why did you hate that library? Extract the tacit knowledge before they retire. The world doesn't need more code. We have enough code. The world needs problem solvers. The world needs people who can look at a broken system and understand the messy, human, complex reality of it. AI can write the script, but it can't understand the story. Don't let the machine atrophy your brain. The struggle isn't the enemy. The struggle is the skill. I want to know, are you a junior feeling this, or a senior watching it happen? Tell me in the comments, is AI helping you learn, or is it doing the learning for you? If this video made you think, hit that like button and subscribe to Psychology Every Day. Keep struggling.